Good morning, everybody. Listen, we have a story. My face is still red. Heidi Foy with Foy Real Estate. Thank you guys for joining us. Rebecca here and I were bebopping through the conference room, headed this way to the lovely background that we get to use. And Mr. Jason Gallus from MC Roofing popped out in the dark and scared the bejesus out of us. So I don't know if Rebecca is, but I definitely am, like, my heart is still racing. So I apologize for that. Anyways, welcome to Q&A Thursday. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about the rental market. So stay tuned. Okay, we're still talking about it. Special shout out clearly to MC Roofing for scaring the wonderfulness.
For keeping us alive today.
Yes, absolutely. Keeping us going. So thank you so much for joining us. Although I see there are 0 watchers, which is totally fine. We'll catch you when you watch the replay. Rebecca is joining us today with Coldwell Banker. So 2 sides of Coldwell Banker. 1, we're not bankers. Let's clarify that. 2, we do real estate transactions, and we also have a property management side. So our property management side is Coldwell Banker Legacy Property Management. And Rebecca is going to join us today and talk a little bit about the rental market. So first, I want to touch base a little bit on investment properties. I think our community, I don't know what it's like in other communities, but oftentimes we see a lot of our buyers that we work with are investors. Either they're looking to flip houses or they're looking for investment properties for that passive income. So let's talk about what are the opportunities looking like for investment properties and how does somebody get into that?
So there's 2 types of investors. There's forced landlords, which are people that have to move out of state and can't necessarily sell their home for the price that they need to. Right. So the next option is to rent it out. The next one is just investors, and it's actually looking pretty good. We have a lot of I personally have investors that are looking to retire out of the rental business just because they're close to retirement age. So I do have owners that are willing to sell their investments, as well as people that are just looking to open their portfolio, looking at a different way to make their cash flow a little bit easier, because not everybody has GameStop.
Right.
Stock.
GameStop. So, yeah, so clearly we missed the boat on that one. So I think one thing to keep in mind, and I'm kind of in this boat too. We've talked, Josh and I have talked about buying some investment properties, but the one thing that freaks me out is, like, I don't want to get that call in the middle of the night. I don't want to have to go repair anything. I don't want Josh. Well, okay, let's be serious. I don't want Josh to have to go repair anything. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to be the bad guy collecting rent. So, you know, what do you say to people, to investors that say those types of things?
So this is what I tell every investor. If this is your full-time job, like if you're a husband and wife team and your husband's going to work and the wife is solely focusing on the investment, your rentals, then by all means do it. There's several books out there that can help you. If it isn't, and you guys are both working and you're just wanting to build your portfolio, this is what I tell them. We're the company that takes that stress off of you. We deal with after hours emergencies, do all the screenings, evictions, unfortunately, if that has to happen, all of it.
Yeah.
You know, we find the vendors, we work with local vendors in the community that will just, you know, we get it at a lower rate because of our portfolio that we're able to pass that along to our owners.
Perfect. So if you are interested in investing in some property in town, let's talk about another fear I feel like I would have is I can't afford to pay that mortgage and my mortgage. What does the market look like? Is there going to be a renter in it? What happens if there's not a renter in it? So let's talk about that. I know that so I didn't go to college here, so I'm not familiar with the rental market, but based on word of mouth and just being kind of in the community, rent is high here.
So it is very high. I come from Southern California, and I remember when we were moving out here, I was like, how much for where? They only have a Target? Sorry, just being real there. But and one Starbucks at the time. But It is very high. And I think the reason why it is so high is because we have that oil boom flux.
Yes.
And I think some owners that have had long-term tenants that have had the prime market rate, when somebody moves out, they have to readjust to what the market rate is now. Right now, we can push the rents a little bit higher on homes because the supply is lower. But at the same time, a lot of our owners would prefer to have it rented out to a good,
good
reasonable, renter than
Yeah.
just to make sure you get that top dollar. So.
Perfect. So let's talk about more specifically the rental market right now. I know we talk every Tuesday in our office meeting about what the kind of days on market. What does that mean? I know what that means when we're selling homes. What does that mean for you guys in the rental market?
So basically it means how, kind of the same way it is with your buying and selling, like how fast a property is turning. For us, we can gauge it towards house and price points or apartment and price points. So that tells us how quickly things are turning. A lot of our tenants, the people that have moved out, have relocated, but it hasn't been, I think one has been from oil.
Right.
But everybody else has, they're like, they've moved out of state for job. Like their job transferred and it wasn't related to oil. Right. We do see a lot of medical people coming in the community and things like that. So we're kind of able to gauge with the rental market and the sell, buy and sell market, kind of how things are going.
So for Legacy Property Management, what is what is our average days on market for our rental properties?
Average days on market, so our houses go rather quickly. So those are hitting, those are getting rented before they hit the market, but an average day with an apartment is about 6 days. So, and that just depends on if you're allowed to have a pet, if it's a fourplex, if it's single, the price point.
So really, in comparison to the real estate market, you're looking at much lower numbers than we are. Well, sometimes. I mean, we're seeing some houses that are selling that are under contract before they even go on the market. So days on market for buy and sell looks pretty similar, but typically days on market for buy and sell transactions is closer to like maybe 30 to 45 days, especially with low inventory. I don't think that would be a normal, if it wasn't a seller's market, it wouldn't be that low, but definitely even lower for the rental market. So let's talk a little bit about what the rental market, if any, does it have an impact on the buy-sell market?
Yes, it does. So this year alone, we've seen a lot of our own tenants that have been long-term tenants purchase homes.
Okay.
I have seen, and these, so it's a little bit different, but I've seen investors that are wanting to sell just because they're willing to get out. And a lot of,
and you mentioned the retirees too, that just want to, they're done.
Yeah,
they're
like
ready
their
to kind
goal,
of cash out
their goal was to accrue whatever goal monetary wise when they were done retiring, working, just to move on.
Well, and I would add too that clearly a seller's market is the time to do that, because then you can get the most kind of bang for your buck. And I would say sellers in this market have a little bit more control over pricing because they can. I mean, it's just the supply and demand, the magic of supply and demand, I would say.
Yeah.
So is there anything else, any other information you think we absolutely must know?
No. If you guys have any other questions,
if you have any other questions, go ahead and give us a call or comment. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Q&A Thursday. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks for having me.
I only had to chase her down a little bit in the hallway because we get a little sidetracked around here. So yeah, we do. And we get the crap scared.
We're having wonderful conversations.
Yes, I would agree with that. So thank you guys for joining us. Remember, if you have any questions about real estate, remodels, or anything remotely close, shoot me a message and I will get someone, or I will try to answer your question, which I feel like that is a roll of the dice there. I do want to share these little tags that we keep playing with. I will be bringing these out to some of our clients in the next few days, and probably more realistically in the next week. I don't know if you can read that, but yay. Thank goodness for the cricket. So I'll be delivering some wonderful Valentines. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will catch you next week.
Bye.